So we are going to talk and learn about Feng Shui today. So I guess the main question is people, they keep asking me, like, so what is Feng Shui? What is Feng Shui? So Feng Shui is this ancient Chinese art of how to put things. So it didn't originate as how to put your bed in your dorm room, because in ancient China, there's no tiny bedrooms and people have like lots of space. So it originated like imagine you're a big emperor and you want to build a new city. So you come to this piece of land, very nice, and then it's just all empty land. Like, where do you start? You need some kind of logic to drive you. So he has this group of old men, like old Feng Shui masters, telling him what to do. So they will look at the site, look at the land, and based on the land, try to give the most sensible directions. Like, don't put the palace in the middle of the lake. Don't put the palace at the bottom of a valley, which can be flooded. So this very simple logic is basically the logic behind not doing stupid things when building a house. So, they started with several very basic principles. You want to be protected from enemies, because back then you have enemies, the people from the north, Mongolians, things like that. You will have the enemies. You want to protect yourselves from that. You want to be close to the good things like resources, water for growing crops and things like that. So for the enemies, they want to be protected. They look at the landforms. They want to be against a slope so that it's harder for people to attack them from the back. For resources, you want lots of sunlight, you want water. So all these kind of things. And that is how we originate by looking at all, that's how it all originated when they wanted to look at where the sun's path is, where the sunlight is, where the water is. And water, as we know now, associate with wealth in the Feng Shui world. Water is wealth, because water is where you can grow your crops, where trade can come, people can come and bring goods, you can sell things. So there's this association. And so fast forward thousands of years to today, we have all these so-called rules behind Feng Shui, where you have a wealth corner, you want to have water, you want to sit in a way that you are protected from the back. That's called the command position. So Feng Shui is basically a sensible approach to building a house. In fact, it originated with where to put a grave, but I'll not get into that. So it's about a sensible way to build a house, which then trickled down some more to a sensible way to lay out your room so that you feel good. Now, Feng Shui is very much misunderstood, and I'll talk about this. People think that Feng Shui is a kind of superstition, like if you do something, something will happen to you. That is how it appears to be, because you think about it, people 3,000 years ago, they're not very literate. Like they don't care about understanding. They just care about feeding themselves, growing their crops and things. So the Feng Shui masters will be like, they know that if you don't, for example, if you sleep on a bed that is on a floor that is like cold tiles and rocks, it's damp, it's moist, and you will get some kind of like illness in the future. So they will say that, oh, if you sleep on your bed, if you sleep on a stone floor, you will get this sickness. Then people will just associate with that. Oh, if I put my bed in this room with stone floors, that means I'll definitely get this sickness, which is not true. It's about the damp and the mold that happens to come with such kind of flooring or such kind of rooms that's non-insulated. So there's a bit of misunderstanding to do with this. Or like, let's say I place my desk in a way that doesn't support my work. They will say that, oh, you will lose a lot of money. That's because you don't work properly. You can't focus with your job, and that's how you lose money. So Feng Shui is not really superstition. It's like cause and effect. If you put something in a wrong way, it will affect your performance, which will in turn affect outcomes. I like to give this analogy. Like, imagine you send your child to a very, very good school, right? Top school in the country. Doesn't mean they will get a super great job. Doesn't mean they'll become some kind of politician or whatever, or become a billionaire. It just helps them. It gives them the connection. It gives them the good teachers. It gives them good like access to all these resources. But if they are not going to make use of it, they're not going to like magically flourish. So in Feng Shui, there's these three types of lucks or fortune. So the first one is called heaven luck. Okay, so there's heaven luck, earth luck, and man luck. Heaven luck means fate, things that you cannot control. Whatever that comes from the heavens, that is your luck. You cannot control. If it befalls you, great. If it doesn't, too bad. So that is called fate. You can't control it. Second one is man luck, which means yourself. How invested are you? How hard you plan to work? How motivated you are? That you can control. And that is all up to you. How motivated you are, how much you want to push. And finally, there's earth luck, which is your environment. So you might be super motivated, you might be super lucky, but maybe you don't have a place to work. Maybe your surroundings are not working to your favor. There's tons of distractions. There's people like shouting outside your window. You get distracted, or it's really, really cold and you can't focus on working properly. So that is your environment, which you can kind of control, and that is Feng Shui. So Feng Shui is only one part of this three-piece puzzle that will determine your fate and your future. So once you know that, you realize that Feng Shui can only do so much, but you also see the logic behind it, and it's not so scary or superstitious. It is about a set of knowledge that you can apply to make your space work for you. Yes, so that is what Feng Shui is. So today I talk so much. So today I'm going to talk about two very basic ideas behind Feng Shui. One of them is called, well, two ideas. One of them is called the command position, which you see a lot in my videos, where to find the command position in the space. And the second thing I want to talk about is energy, or qi, as you might hear. And qi this, qi that, qi everything. So the command position. Okay, so this is you. This is you. And you, the command position, so in Feng Shui, there are 5 animals. There is the turtle. This is the turtle. Yeah, so there's a turtle. There is the I cannot draw. There is the dragon. My dragon looks like a pig. The dragon looks like a pig. Okay, so there's a dragon, and then you have the phoenix, which is like a bird, and the wings, and you have the tiger. And then there's a snake. There's a snake. So in Feng Shui, there are 5 celestial animals. So there's 5 celestial animals, and we use this to determine our command position. So the tortoise has a hard shell, and it represents support and stability. You always want this behind you, because at the back of your head, you have no eyes to see. So you want support to protect you from the back where you cannot see or guard yourself. So that is when you have the tortoise behind you to represent the mountains. Then in front of you, you want to have the phoenix with its big birds, big wings flying. So you have lots of space in front of you. So you don't feel like blocked. If I put a big wall in front of you, you don't feel good. You want to have lots of open space in front of you. And then the dragon and the tiger, they kind of give secondary support, a bit like the tortoise, but they don't give so much. They kind of give like just enough of support that you don't feel like you're going to fall off the edge, but enough openness that you feel that you can still move left and right. The dragon is usually on the east, and it represents growth. So here we have like plants. It represents growth. The tiger that's normally on the western side is a transformative element. It shows it's like where the sun sets, where the elements transform and changes. So it gives this other type of feeling. Like this one is about growth, and this one is about protection and transformation. A bit hard to explain. And in the middle is the snake, which is you, where all the 4 animals combine and creates balance. So the command position really focuses on the tortoise and the bird, where they give you support behind and openness in front. So in a room context, like if I were to just open into a standard room, let me just get a standard room. where I have here, if I'm going to, this is my desk, this is the desk. You want to sit such that your back has a wall behind you and you have open space in front where you can see who's coming in. You can see the light coming to the side. So here we have the phoenix space, like lots of open space, so you can like let your imagination flow, your mind is open and clear, and behind you, you have a nice blank background, great for Zoom meetings. Nobody can see your room, nobody can see how messy your space is. So this is how you normally want to sit. As opposed to if I did this, I'm sitting against the wall. In front of me is a wall. I can't see much ahead of me. I feel like there's a big wall in front of my face. Whereas behind me, there's all this space, all the energy. Your housemate might be knocking the door, coming in without you even knowing, scaring you. So you can see how, although I'm sitting in the same place in the room, it feels very different. Here you feel well protected. You have a good a good idea of what's going on around you. You can see if anyone's coming in. Whereas here you feel like your mind is blocked. You feel very vulnerable behind you. And that is a very basic concept of Feng Shui, which is the command position. You tend to want to sit in a way that you feel like supported and comfortable. And this doesn't just apply to a desk and chair. You can have an armchair. You will sit like this. If you had a piano, wait, do I have a piano? Let me just find my piano. If you have a piano like this, or if you have all the wires, I mean, like that's the Feng Shui thing. Like in the past, people were writing on scrolls. There was no computer screen. So this is the idea of Feng Shui. Of course, if you have lots of wires, it might not look so nice. You can put the desk closer to the wall and your wires can go around it, or you could put a screen in front of it, or sometimes I would suggest people, they could put like a little couch in front of their desk, things like that. It depends on the room, depends on the situation. But the idea is that you want open space in front of you. Of course, nowadays, it depends. Like sometimes rooms can be super, super tight and small. Let me see if I can find a small room. I don't think I have small rooms. Let me just see one second. Okay, for example, let's say this room here. There's a big bed here. You can't move it around. Where can I put my desk? I can't put my desk like this. This is crazy. If you put your desk like this, it's not too bad. At least you don't feel vulnerable. You can see if anyone's coming in. So case by case, you want to see the energy, and that will bring us to the next point, which is energy and qi. So energy, how do I explain energy? Okay, imagine you are in a room, 4 walls, just 4 walls, no door, no window. Here you are over here right in the middle. Right, there you are in the middle of this room. 4 solid walls. You don't feel anything around you, okay? Then suddenly, I open a window right here. Then suddenly you can see the light streaming in. You can hear the noise outside. There's a lot of things going on, and you naturally turn your head to look towards the window. Why do you look towards the window? Because there's light, there's views, there's potential of someone coming in, there's a potential of you exiting. So these are all energy. If you put yourself in this situation, you can really feel how strong this energy is. Then if I open another window on the other side, then you will be sort of confused, like, oh no, there's another window over here. There's one window here, one window here. Like, what's going to happen? You will feel like maybe someone might walk in and walk out. You will feel like there's energy passing through. So suddenly this room becomes a hallway. So a room has a very different energy to a hallway. You can see already. A room is just 4 square walls. A hallway, even if it's not very long, it feels different. Or a room that has only 1 window over there. Like in here, you could sit anywhere, it doesn't matter. In here, you might sit like this so you can see the door. In here, you feel like you want to really scoot to the side in case people walk past you. So these are all energies that, so energy comes in different forms. It comes in the potential for people to walk in. It comes in the, in the form of light shining into the room, or noise, or like sometimes it could be something really, really nice. If you have a window and outside is just like flowers, trees, nice views, you want to look out. because it looks really pretty. On the other hand, the same window and the same room, but outside you have a big car. Imagine this is a car, the headlamps pointing towards you. You feel like there's this aggressive energy coming towards you, and you feel a bit scared. You might not want to necessarily be in this room with a big car parked outside your window. So the room might be exactly the same. This is in front of a parking lot with a big car parked in front. This is in front of a garden with flowers and all sorts of things. This has really nice energy. This has really bad energy. So energy comes in different forms. Let me just turn back. Okay, so energy comes in different forms. It comes in the form of like fast movement, noise from a highway or a big noisy road. It could come in the form of like if you were sitting in a room and there was this like sharp thing dangling over you. Like that's a bit unsettling, isn't it? Even though it's not going to actually fall on me. So it's basically all the stuff around you that makes you react to it, in other words. So that's energy. It's not really like this electricity or energy that powers things, that makes things move. Energy can come in for like this. This doesn't have a lot of power. It just looks aggressive and it just doesn't feel nice. So that is a kind of sha qi. Or when we, like if you sit on a table, you don't really want to sit on the corner of a table because that feels really, really sharp. It feels like you're not properly in a dining space, whereas here is much nicer. So yeah, that is the idea of energy. So that's the idea of energy, and then we also have like the command position, which has to do with energy. So you want to be protected from the bad energy and have good views towards the good energy. So yeah, so that is my like very short nutshell on Feng Shui in 20 minutes. Have you now have you got any questions?
Yeah, actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
So say I put my desk in the command position, but there's a TV next to me, like it's on the same wall. Is that, that would be considered kind of disruptive energy, right? Like
yes, it does. It depends on how you associate the TV. If the TV is switched on, a lot of movement, flashing, that's a lot of energy. Like that's not great. If it was not switched on, it will be this shiny black surface. Then it will behave like a mirror, which is a different kind of energy. The first one is the energy of like a billboard, like shining, moving, electricity, that kind of energy. The second one is like a mirror. It's almost like a window where you can see the reflection of things. You can things like see yourself. It's like black. It's this abyss. So it's a different kind of energy. The first one like pushes unnecessary static to your face. The second one sort of sucks you in like a void. If it's not like, let's say your TV is not shiny, it's switched off, it's more like a block, then it becomes a big heavy object next to your face that could drop at any moment.
Oh.
So that is a different kind. This is equivalent to if you hung a gigantic painting next to you and you live in California.
Yeah.
With earthquakes. So you'd be really, really scared. So you wouldn't want to be so close to this gigantic heavy glass panel thing dangling on a little string on the wall next to you.
Yeah. Okay, move my desk. I'm gonna write that.
Oh. Maybe.
I mean, I do feel the energy from it, especially when it's on too. And I've always wondered, like, am I too close to it? And I definitely think even when it's off, it's affecting me too. So
usually a very good gauge is that if you even ask the question, you know something is wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Now let's look at all your backgrounds. Very good, very good. Mel has a window behind you. Someone might like. Vanessa has a door behind you. I can see. Everyone is good. Everyone else is good. Steven's good. Jeannie is all blurry. I don't know what you're hiding.
I just switched things in my house, and my desk is like a workbench, and I was like, this is too large for this room, and I this room's insane. And I was like contemplating just cutting the workbench, because I made it myself. I was like, I can make it shorter. And like, at what point do you get rid of furniture or extremely change things because you know it's not right for a room or your house?
A big desk is a good thing. A big desk gives you space to work and lets you think. Imagine your desk is too small, things start to fall off the edge.
Yeah.
Big desk is good if you have space for a big desk. Big desk is always good because
like running into it through the door. Yeah, I tried to like command position myself, I guess, subconsciously.
Oh, if you are knocking to the door, then that's not great. So you want a balance. You want a balance. You shouldn't feel frustrated in your space and with the space, but at the same time, you shouldn't feel frustrated with your actual workspace as well. So something as big as you can, but doesn't block the flow of your movement into the space.
Hey Cliff, I have a quick question for you. How I know we're talking about positioning of furniture. How does that affect how you position maybe people within a room, whether you're in a meeting or interacting with them?
Yes, totally. Especially in meetings. One second. So here I have, let me find a room. Let me find a meeting room. Okay. Okay, let's say this is a meeting room. Imagine this is a meeting room, okay? And here we have our table. Where is my little chair? I need a little chair. I cannot find my little chair. I put little stools, okay? So here is my meeting room. And then you notice that there is a window here. There is a door over here. A door to the kitchen over here. There's lots of movement around here. So normally, assuming this is a very nice view of flowers and trees and nice stuff, okay? So the best seat in this room would be somewhere here or here. Actually, it would be here. This is the best seat because you have a wall behind you. You're at the end of the walkway, so nobody needs to walk past you to get to their seat. You get good light from the side and you're far from the movement. If you were the boss, you would sit here, and if you're having a meeting with one of your competitors, you will make them sit here. You want to make them feel really, really uncomfortable, like they're always on the edge of their seat, not sure what's going to happen behind them. They're spending half the meeting just turning their back to see if anybody's coming in, because people are going to come in. Oh, sorry, I'm late. They walk around him. He's like, so annoying. Whereas here, I'm laughing and seeing how bothered he is.
That makes sense.
This is more like the scapegoat. He looks like Grand, but he's kind of with the window behind him. So this is more comfortable. I missed the text. Wait, let me just see.
Oh, from SMR. If you had to pick,
Yes.
Just see the chat.
Yes. I was just asking if it's a client, like a potential client, would you want them to be feeling that same level of unsafeness, or where would you want them to sit if you're trying to close a deal, for example?
Oh, if it's a potential client, you want to make them feel really comfortable, really supported. So you give them the good seat. So like that's when like good hosts tend to sit near the kitchen so that they can quickly go and get food and things, and you put your guests in a nice seat inside, deep in the dining space. So it's a bit like that.
So you would have them sit like right next to your seat, like so that they feel just as comfortable as you.
So in such a situation, you might give yourself the worst seat. If you're a really good host, you will sacrifice and you will sit at the worst seat next to the kitchen. But so that ensures that your guests will have a better seat, and it also allows you to serve them more easily. So that's when you also look at your needs and your wants. In this case, you are hosting, so you need to have good access to the kitchen, and it sounds practical, but it's also part of Feng Shui.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So someone on the comments, Cliff, said, like, how would you treat indoor plants and where do you put them?
So plants represent life and growth. Plants, they represent the wood element. There's 5 elements. There's wood, there's metal, there's earth, fire, and water. So all of them have different qualities. Okay, so I'll just quickly go through. So water is like a very dark blue, flowy kind of element. Fire is bright red, orange, lots of energy. is like triangular, like sharp and high energy. Earth is something that's really calming, flat and sound and stable. Metal is something that's like a round circle that's transforming, is malleable, is very soft. And wood is the one that represents growth. So wood in the element cycle is not brown, it's green, because it is represented by plants. So plants represent growth, and you want to have them normally on the east side. But if not, you don't have an east side, just close to the windows because there's lots of light. So you put plants in close to the window so that they flourish. It's important that the plants are alive. And also you put plants where you want to represent growth. So you put plants in a place like, so maybe your money corner, which is a part of your home that you decorate to manifest money. Or you could put plants in your study room because that's where you want to grow. You want to like do well in your career. You wouldn't necessarily put plants in your bedroom because the bedroom is where you are not growing, you are relaxing, you are laid back, you want to be calm. But most people, many people have plants in their bedroom, it's fine. Just saying.
Just going off of the elements, I'm curious if you go into detail of like the materials of what your furniture is made out of, because you can have a bed that's made out of wood, or you can have bed frames that are made out of metal as well.
Yes. So brown wood is not really the wood element, it's more of earth element. Because as we know, wood element is green, it's like cyan, it's like growth, it's like vitality, upwards growing. Whereas wood is like brown, it's more like earth. So a wooden bed frame is a bit like an earthy tone, it's very down to earth, it's very solid and stable. So a wooden bed frame is good. A metal bed frame, like thin legs, shiny, it doesn't feel so stable. It doesn't give that kind of stability and heaviness that you want from like a position that where you are most vulnerable. You are sleeping, you're not alert. So normally a wooden bed, a solid bed is kind of better than a flimsy metal thin frame thing.
I have another question. So I really love plants because it makes me feel very like, you know, earthy, and it makes a place seem very homey. But you just mentioned like not to put plants in your bedroom. So what are alternatives that would help bring more of a calming energy into your sleeping room?
Okay, so firstly, the thing with plants and bedrooms is that like if you rewind 1,000 years, you don't, if you're looking for a place to sleep, you want a place that's really, really secure, right? You wouldn't sleep in the middle of the forest. So you'll find some cave to sleep in. So if you find a cave to sleep in, there is the entrance of the cave with lots of plants, and there's the deep inside the cave, which is a bit darker and quieter. So you tend to go more inside, because where there are plants, it signifies that it's a bit exposed. It signifies that there's water trickling around. It signifies that your enemies can hide. So plants represent growth, plants represent life, plants represent risks as well. So that's why you kind of avoid it. But fast forward so many years, we know our plants are not like that. We can have plants in your room. Plants represent life, but like if your plants are your friends, you can totally share the room with your friends. It's totally okay. So it's fine to have plants in your room, but if you want to be strict about feng shui and really not want to have plants, then the best way to make your room feel calming is to have the right kind of lighting. So instead of having some kind of downward shining light like that, you want something that's more like a table lamp that gives a soft glow. Let me turn on my table lamp. Like this. Like a nice soft glow. Then it feels like, sorry. See, so I feel like sleeping already. So have the good lighting, not have lights that's too high up, especially those kind of ceiling lights. Like in America, I think you call them nipple lights or something. Like the thing on the top, they're just shining down. It's not good. It makes the whole room very flat. It highlights all your clutter. Whereas something like this, it just makes your room, it just highlights the nice, pretty things that you put around it, and the rest of the room is dark and shady. So it just feels more calming.
Hey, Cliff, sorry, last question. Do you find that these principles are universal?
In what way?
I mean, we have different cultures, right? And different maybe habits or practices, but in your experience, when you're talking about these different principles, are they mostly universal?
As long as you understand the logic behind it. So I know, in addition to Feng Shui, I also know a bit of Vastu, which is like Indian Feng Shui. So in Chinese Feng Shui, well, I mean, Feng Shui is Chinese. In Feng Shui, the south is normally a very good direction because that's where the sun is and it gives good energy. In Vastu, which is like Indian Feng Shui, Vastu Sastra, south is a bad direction. South is belongs to the god of death, Yama. So people in India, they would at all costs avoid opening their doors to face the south, whereas in China, everybody wants their doors to face south. The Forbidden City's door is facing south. So why is that so? Why are they contradicting each other? The reason is that in China is a bit more north of the hemisphere. Southern light is very nice and calm and rejuvenating. You grow your crops. It gives you energy. India, very close to the equator, always gets sunlight all the time. So the south is like the direction that you get constant hit of hot sunlight, radiation, all that kind of thing. It makes you lethargic, it makes you tired. So if you understand this principle, you realize that nobody is wrong. It depends on the environment, the climate, the part of the world that you're in. So if you think of Australia, down under, everything is inverted. Your sun comes from the north, but still the sun rises from the east. So it's not like you rotate it, you just mirror it. So as long as you understand the logic behind it, then you'll know how to apply. So in Feng Shui, it's not that the south is good, it's that a window with light is good. That happens to be in the south.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So any more questions for Cliff?
I'm curious what other areas Feng Shui can be applied to in our everyday lives outside of our homes.
Okay, so I talk about more architectural Feng Shui. There's another type of Feng Shui, which is the flying stars Feng Shui, which is where it kind of, you use it to predict your future. Remember the three lucks. Feng Shui is about creating your environment, like to craft your environment to support you. Then there is the fate and there's your man luck. The self luck is up to you. So that's you. The fate thing, so Feng Shui tries to predict what happens, what is going to happen. Feng Shui tries to predict what kind of person you are and how you normally take things. Because in Feng Shui, it's not that it tries to change your destiny. It tries to warn you of things. And it said that if you know what's coming, you are better prepared for it. So in Feng Shui, there are yearly cycles where there are years with certain elements, and where certain elements are stronger and certain elements are weaker. Like there's this like fire, the fire dragon year, or the water buffalo year. And we use this and we compare it to your horoscope, your personal element, and we see if it's going to clash or support you. And that's how they predict whether it's going to be a good or bad year for you. And in knowing that, you are better prepared to face the challenges that come ahead. I do not practice flying stars Feng Shui because it is very confusing and it also makes too many assumptions. And I personally find that depending on where you are born and how you have grown up, your element balance might not be as accurate as what they would normally predict. So I don't use that. So that is one way where Feng Shui is used. But otherwise, sorry, that was very confusing, right? But anyway, I think Feng Shui can be used in other places. Like for example, if you're in a cafe, try to look for a seat to sit in. You can find your command position, the best seat in a cafe, the best seat in a restaurant. And you will enjoy your afternoon, your lunch much more. If you went to a busy restaurant and they gave you the seat next to the entrance where people are queuing up, you will totally not enjoy your meal. it'll be very annoying. Or if they put you next to the bathroom, that's not nice as well. Or next to the kitchen where they're walking in and out. And like we know, we like to sit on the seat next to the view by the sea because it makes us feel happy. So like, given that you already know where, like how Feng Shui can affect your daily life, even if it's not at home.
If we have time for another question. So
Yeah.
what tips do you have for kind of breaking up energy? Like you can sense something's not working, or someone's moving through a space, or there's clutter somewhere. Like, what do you have tricks to kind of break up the energy, or to add objects to kind of change the structure within your home or room?
I mean, it depends. There's many like, this is a very broad question. For example, if your whole house is all beige and white and it's just very dull, you can add some plants to add some pop of color that will change the energy balance of your home. Or if you have a kitchen full of knives stuck on the magnetic holder on the wall, just take them down and it will look much less aggressive already. It will look less like a butcher. It will look more like a nice, calm country kitchen. There are things that you can do to make the space feel better. Or like, for example, if you have a bedroom and hanging above your bed is this ferocious dragon. Like it's just a picture, but it really changes the energy of your room by having a picture of a ferocious dragon staring at you. So just change it to a picture of a nice seascape, for example. There's this thing that maybe it can relate to Ginny's question before and also your question. I once had a phone, and my phone's, and it sounds silly, I know, but my phone's home screen was a picture of crashing waves, like watery things. And I kept dropping my phone into water. So when I got a new phone, it finally died. I got a new phone, I changed my background to a forest, and now I got lots of wood elements growing. That is a bit of superstition, okay, I admit. That's a bit of superstition, but it gives me a sense of peace, okay, that my phone is not like going to drop in the water again.
I totally relate to that. I always change my phone background because I feel like it affects my life daily.
Yes, like imagine if you have a phone background of your ex-boyfriend. Isn't that annoying?
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
It's just a picture, right? No, it's not just a picture.
Yeah.
I did. I also just recently dropped my phone in water as well, and I was totally joking about it too. I was like near the water, and I was like, oh, watch me just drop it. And then literally an hour later, I actually did drop it and lost it in the ocean. But I was gonna share that now I have on my phone screen just like a visual board of things that I want to like accomplish in the next year or two. And I've been doing this like every 2 years. And when I look at it, it's like it actually works because you're predetermining like what you want to manifest and then working towards what you're looking at every single day.
Totally, no, that's very good. Totally, that's how it is, and that's how like the money corner works actually. Like having a money corner, like in a part of your home where you manifest, you put all the golden things and golden frogs and cats and things like that inside. It's not that building a nice money corner will make you rich. Building a nice money corner, every time you come home, you see this pile of coins and gold, and you put a coin every day into your piggy bank. It kind of reminds you, it refreshes your mind. It's almost like a ritual. Every time you come home, you see this thing. It reminds you that you love money and you're going to work hard for it. So it is about reminding yourself. Like that's how you manifest things, right? Like you talk about it, you repeat it to yourself and things like that.
I was just figuring out that you were talking about water, and I just realized that my phone actually has water on it. So I'm going to change it, like the background, because now I'm super afraid.
Don't be afraid. Like these are just tips, and you know why I say now, because in Feng Shui, so many times people, when a Feng Shui person tells you something, you can't stop thinking about it. It's like, oh no, the Feng Shui guy said that if I sit this way, I will
Yeah,
like something bad will happen to me.
Change my furniture now.
Yeah. So it's like it's very powerful. Knowing things is very powerful. Once you know something, it will change the way you live the rest of your life. And that's why I say now, because once you know, you can't unknow. And that's why I only try to say things that are genuinely helpful or at least positive to you, and not trying to scare you and stuff like that. So now you know.
I know once you talked about not having mirrors and photos of family members in your bedroom, which I think is the hardest I've laughed at something you've made. But are there other tips for things to not put, especially like in a living room or a baby's room? I would say, like, do you have like quick tips of like, just don't put pictures of your family in your room? Which
no, you can put pictures of your family in your room. It's like how you would associate the picture. Like if you hung something too high up, it's kind of like you know how in North Korea they hang picture of Kim Jong-un like high up on the room. It's like it means that he is very out of reach. He's a god. He's like all the way up there, not for the commoners to even approach. So normally you will hang pictures high up when they are dead or something like that, like ancestors. So if it's you're not going to hang the picture of your parents high up above your mantle place. That's a bit weird. But like you could hang a picture of like your wedding picture on the wall close to your bedroom. That kind of reminds you of your nice relationship. So it depends on the context. Like a living room is a place where you receive guests, whereas a bedroom is more intimate. So where it is in terms of the context and energy of the room and what it associates with, and also how high you hang it, how far from you as a person. Like normally family pictures, I will put it on the console, like leaning like in their frame, sitting atop a console, so that when you're sitting next to your couch and they're just there close by, it feels very intimate. But it is up to your comfort level really. But as long as you can see the association, you will know. Like if you go to someone's house and you see them hanging all their family pictures all over the wall, you like you might make some judgments, whether for good or bad. So if you look at it, if you turn back and look at yourself hanging the pictures here, what does it remind you of? What does it make you think of? Then you will be in a better position to decide.
Do you move things in your house all the time? Are you like constantly rearranging? Or are you set?
I used to, but ever since I started this, I'm too busy to move anything anymore. Okay, any other questions?
So I think we all just let it out about our furniture and positions and energy. That's super good. I need to, as I said, change my whole furniture. Thanks to that. But my energy is going to be great now.
Nice, that's good.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be great. I'm going to message you like, hey, this has changed.
Amazing. No,
I'm
do
a
that.
new person now.
Make your space look nice.
Yeah.
And feel good.
Yeah, that's the main point. So thank you everyone for coming and for being here for this Lunch and Learn with Cliff. And thank you, Cliff, for being so flexible and so helpful and like clearing all our doubts, and for showing us a little bit more about your life and Feng Shui and architectural Feng Shui. This talk has been amazing, and hope to have you soon again, anytime. And yeah, thank you so much. And thank you.
I had lots of fun. Thank you so much.
Yay.
I have this book, by the way, if you want to know more.
Yeah, we will.
You have such a good energy about you that itself is like a good Feng Shui.
Oh, thank you. That's
Thank you.
nice. That's nice. And yeah, it was so fun to talk to all of you. And I hope you learned a thing or two today about Feng Shui. Very basic, but it was fun. And yeah, now you know, you'll never look at things the same way again.
Hey, thank you so much, Cliff.
Yeah, most welcome. Very nice to meet you. You take care, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Alright then.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.